Mike here, founder of Magnus Box, coming at you today for another monthly live Q&A session. Before we get started with the introductions, I just wanted to take a moment and talk to you guys quickly about TechCon Unplugged. TechCon Unplugged is happening this year, September 16th through the 18th in Chicago, Illinois. TechCon Unplugged is bringing the IT community together. Join like-minded business owners for a weekend packed full of resources to help your IT business thrive. You'll hear from experts and get one-on-one time with peers facing the same exact challenges that you probably are in your own business. With TechCon, you will walk away with concrete action items to take your business to the next level. And you can find out more by going to www.techconunplugged.com. And the people over at TechCon Unplugged were generous enough to give us a discount code for our Magnus Box partners. Let me see if I can find it here. So if you use the code MB50 during checkout, you'll get $50 off your TechCon Unplugged ticket. I believe tickets right now are about $2.99, so it'll give you a nice little discount. So with me today, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our team. With us today, I have the one, the only coffee addict, possibly, Seth Byrne. How you doing today, Seth?
Doing well. Thank you, Mike.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And then I have a new face to our little group of misfits over here at Magnus Box. I have the one, the only Luke, who is just finishing up his training as one of our newest partner support specialists over here. How you doing today, Luke?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. So, Luke, be honest. How bad is it over here? Are we horrible people or are we good people?
You guys are good people, I would say. But it has only been like 2 weeks.
He totally was not paid to say that. He's not chained right now to the corner of a room answering support tickets. So, as always, this Q&A is coming to you live through StreamYard. If you want to, you can fully interact with us using the chat. We have Kelsey, who's hiding in the background, answering any questions and kind of guiding our little group here to keep us on track, because it's a lot of work keeping everything. Eric Kelly says we got to give it time before we get you fully broken, Luke. So, but anyway, so Seth, everything been going well with you lately? Everything's going well?
Yep, keeping busy. I'm enjoying the warm weather, despite it being maybe a touch warmer than I would like. But yeah, overall doing well. Things are going well. Yeah, I can't complain too much.
Oh, it's been busy over here for me. I know that I have been living in the data center. You know, we got the funding for our new petabyte storage cluster project, project code name Akira. So we finished up our Nexus project last year. This year we got Akira, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, but that's where I've been living. And Luke, you've been deep in HIPAA compliance and ticketing systems and learning everything, haven't you?
Yes, it's been a ton of fun.
We haven't sucked his soul out yet, guys. We'll get there. It takes a few more months. That's, Matt's somewhere. He's still here. It's just, we haven't found him in a while. So
Lost in the basement.
So Seth, what do we got on our agenda for today? And like I said before, if you have any questions you'd like us to answer, feel free to just drop them in the comments below. But what's our first topic for today there, Seth?
Well, Mike, I figured we could talk a little bit about the latest update that we pushed a few weeks back, and then the patch that we pushed last night. Does that sound good?
Sounds great. So a few weeks ago, we pushed out version 22.5.0. It's the quarterly feature release. There's quite a few nice changes that were implemented in that update. Did you have any particular favorites that came with the latest software update there, Seth?
I did. My favorite was the the column preference savings. So previously in prior versions, in pages that you went to, for example, the recent activity page or the user page, if you had more than 15 users or 15 entries, then you had to manually select a show more than those 15. And that would reset every time you logged out or the session expired. But in the 22.5.0, that has been changed, so it will remember your preference for your admin user account. So you don't have to continually change from 15 to 50 or 100 every single time you log in. So I think by far that's my favorite feature.
What I've liked is that when I'm working on a partner server that has a large number of devices, and if I'm on a specific page, every time I went to go back, it would not save where I was. And so this
Right.
kind of fixed that issue because, especially we have a few partners that have over 100 devices. And sometimes when you're trying to look through them and you have to change pages, it's almost a nightmare. But this here will preserve that data and make it more user friendly. One of my favorite changes that I had was with the Synology support. So with the Synology package that came out in the previous quarterly release, it allowed you to install the Magnus Box software directly on the Synology device, and that worked great. It works fantastic, but there was a subset of processors in those Synology boxes that just weren't supported properly without us manually modifying it. And so they added support for the Armada 370, 375, AXP 38X, and a few other a little bit out there processors. So going forward now, if you had issues installing the Magnus Box backup software on a Synology NAS device, then you shouldn't have that problem going forward. And if you do, just as always, feel free to shoot an email over to support@magnusbox.com. We can either have Comet take a look at it and see why it's not installing, or we can even have our team go in there and do a one-on-one session and install that for you. And also on top of that, there's also been guidance added. So that way, the other problem was with Synology is whether you were using DSM version 6 or 7, there were requirements to allow the backup software, Magnus Box, to grab that data from your NAS devices. It now guides you through that based on whether you're running DSM 7, and it tells you the extra steps.
And all that's still on our KB article, or our KB base as well. We have articles that walk through the Synology install with the SPK, as well as some of those changes and other processes that need to accompany the install itself. So in addition to the guidance added in the last update, you can always find resources on our knowledge base.
Exactly. And our KB is located at support.magnusbox.com. And I see Eric here has dropped us a good question. Eric Kelly is, I got to say, I have a lot of favorite MSPs. He's one of my favorites because no matter whatever ticket Eric, and I'm probably sure I'm batching his last name, Kelly, he always drops memes. No matter what the issue is with his tickets, there's always a great meme in there. So, Eric, the cost for Synology backups is the same as a server license. So it really depends on which pricing you're on. If you're grandfathered into our older pricing, it's $15. If you're on our newer pricing, it's $17 for server backups. It's a great question, though. We get that one quite a bit. And the main reason is we've seen the average data usage on Synology devices. And I got to say, some of your clients are data hoarders.
Yep, they do have a lot. I've seen a couple, 8 to 10 terabyte Synology NAS boxes as well. It's like very impressive. I mean, that's what they were kind of made for, right? I mean, they're meant to hold a lot of data, so doing their job for sure.
I'm just going to throw Luke under the bus and be like, so Luke, how much data are you hoarding? Are we talking like a few gigs? Are we talking terabytes? Are you a data hoarder?
I don't think so, but I do take a lot of pictures and videos for our robotics team in high school. So beforehand, where my mom was probably taking about like 100 gigabytes up in our iCloud storage, I'm now taking the most up with probably like 150 gigabytes. So I used to not take any, but I should probably go through my pictures and get rid of some.
we're going to start charging you for your backups if you ever use it now. It's all we gotta cover our losses here, Luke, on your storage.
Yeah, just take it on my paycheck.
Don't joke. I can arrange that. And then I don't even want to know what Eric has on his Synology devices. I mean, he's probably got a lot. I think Eric has an entire marketing company, so he might.
Do you want to answer? Sorry, I was going to say, did you want to answer? He threw a question earlier in the partner group about coffee addiction. I did end up giving up coffee for just to circle back to that and answer that. I did give up coffee for like 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks. And it was really nice actually, just because I wasn't like, chained to the cup every morning. But I've resumed my coffee drinking. Usually it's 1 cup around every 2 to 3 days. So still not every day, but I am back on it. So maybe to turn it back to Mike and Luke, I know you drink coffee, Mike. Do you drink coffee, Luke?
I do not. No.
No. Any caffeine, tea, anything like that?
No, not really. I don't drink much caffeine.
Wow, I respect it.
I had to switch to hot chocolate since I can't have caffeine anymore. So I'm down to hot chocolate now, which is great in 96-degree Michigan weather.
Mm-hmm.
As Jethro Gibbs from NCIS quotes, it helps keep me cool.
Right. Yep. I'm a big fan of NCIS. And then the other question Eric had in that post was regarding a hot spare VM feature. About an ETA for that. I'm not aware of any ETA. Are you, Mike? When that would be available?
So Eric, I actually took your suggestion to the Comet development team, and we've been discussing it. So there's nothing as of right now that we can promise you, but we would love to have that ability to have where a device fails and you're able to spin it up almost instantaneously. Well, not instantaneously, but it's getting there. Give it some time. But we did take that suggestion over to them.
Yep. So just wanted to. I know those were thrown out earlier. So here we could, while we were on the subject of Eric, we could bring those up and answer those as well. So.
And then Kelsey says that she's currently on an iced coffee binge right now. So
I haven't actually tried iced coffee. Well, I tried it like once or twice, but I haven't had it a whole lot. I probably should give it another try, but I think I like my drinks hot personally.
Yeah, I'll probably grab myself hot chocolate on the way home tonight. But as far as the other updates within the 22.5.0, a lot of them were cosmetic and error issues that were fixing some common issues within the backups, like with Office 365 backup, some interfaces that were crashing at specific points. I know like there was an issue when the web interface would crash when you tried to click restore on the final page of the restoration wizard. So there's a lot of fixes. That update is also available on our website, magnusbox.com, and it's under our news section. But on top of that, then there was a recent update that was given to us by Comet regarding some issues that were happening from the quarterly. And could you tell us a little bit more about that, Seth?
Yeah, so I was actually working with Luke on a couple tickets the past week, and we ran into an issue a number of partners were reporting where they had an hourly backup set up for their device, but that device kept missing backups. It wasn't running backups like it should be every hour. In fact, it was more like every 5 hours for some reason. It wasn't even correlated with the hourly backup. But that issue stemmed from a change in how hourly backups are handled. In 22.5.0, you can specify which day the hourly backups run on. So if you wanted to run an hourly backup, like maybe just like during the weekday and not on the weekends, you can specify that in the new update. But that caused some unforeseen issues where some hourly backups became corrupted and they weren't initiating correctly. And so in the patch that we pushed last night, 22.5.1, it resolved that issue. So going forward, as long as the device is online, it should resume proper initiation on an hourly schedule of those backups. And from some of the brief spot checks that I've done, it looks like that the update has accomplished that. And obviously, if you're still having issues, feel free to email support@magnusbox.com. But it seems like it was effective in kind of mediating some of those issues.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Seth mentioned it to me that was becoming an issue and that patch was available, and so we made the decision to push that patch. We didn't do any kind of official release or a type up on it, but it was critical enough that we saw enough of a need that it was time to push that out. And so on top of that, 2 other changes that happened just this last week. I believe Seth or Matt pushed out the Magnus Box Synology image.
Yep. So we pushed out the Synology image, and then we also pushed out an updated Mac branding icon for Magnus Box branded partners for Mac devices. Our previous icon wasn't like bad or anything like that. It wasn't in line with like the new style guides issued by Apple. So we had Kelsey created some really nice looking logos for us, and we pushed those out at the same time. And we also added code signing to all of our all partner servers that are all partner servers actually, just in general. So the Mac application bundle should be signed now, so you shouldn't have to manually override the permissions there.
Yeah, and that was a big thing, is that we have a dedicated Mac Mini in the Nexus cluster, and its sole purpose was to code sign partner servers. But now with the latest update, that is actually happening natively on your backup servers. So that anytime we do a change, it's happening right there. It's automatically re-signing that package, and it's a lengthy process. It takes like 10-15 minutes for that package to sign from Apple.
It does. It's slightly faster on device. I think it's like 5 minutes when it's on the actual server itself. So a little bit faster, but still a little bit of a lead time.
But that happens in the background, right? I mean,
it does.
Anytime an update gets pushed out, the system will now recode sign, and anytime we change any of the branding for you, it'll recode sign as well. And one of the issues is that with Mac, there's the dark mode, and so all of our partners were providing us with a generic image, which that doesn't work well on Macs on the toolbar. So a lot of people just seen a dark outline. And so if you do have the custom branding, reach out to our team, and we can see about changing it. If you have a lot of Mac users, we can get a custom logo for the toolbar, right, Seth?
Yep. We can customize that so it's a little bit more recognizable in the toolbar.
And just to jump over to a question that came, I see, from Scott. He asked, is there an ability to back up VMware yet? All I can say is just stay tuned. That's all I can say. So anyway, I'm just going to leave that one alone for now.
nice little teaser.
Yep. So we'll leave that one alone for now. But yeah, so the Mac code signing was a huge thing, because not only was Seth our resident Mac guru, Mac, not Matt, but I have also switched over to a Mac device now, and I believe Luke is a Mac user. So we went from having like a whole bunch of one person or a person on our team using a different system to we're all kind of moving towards Macs now.
What kind of machine do you use, Luke? What kind of Mac?
I have a Mac Mini. And then
Very
I
nice.
also have an iPad for more like laptop-y mobile things. So
yeah, very cool. And you're on an Air, right, Mike?
Yep.
MacBook Air.
Yep, I'm on an Air.
That's also what I'm rocking. So we're slowly becoming a Mac family.
I just, after 16 years of fixing Windows computers, I think the pain point was that I just got sick of the Windows computer breaking. And so I just said, you know what? I'm just going to switch to Mac.
Yeah, Windows are kind of draining, aren't they?
They are. So what's our next topic? We've had a lot of changes here. Should we jump into the data center updates?
Sure. Yeah, you've been spending a lot of time there. I think be good to kind of give the partners a bit of an update about all the work you've been putting in behind the scenes.
So we were able to secure some funding to finance a storage cluster. So like I said, last year we had the Nexus cluster. That cluster was paid off within 11 months. We were able to get a second funding for the Akira cluster. And the whole goal of Nexus and Akira was to eliminate the data center in Texas. So that's still our original goal with the issues that we had last year. Now, knock on wood, we haven't had a single data center issue this year. I'm just going to jinx myself now and be up all night. But so the whole goal of Nexus and Akira was to replace the Texas data center. And so with all the issues they had, and from what I saw was some mismanagement issues, we had to make that transition to pull that data in-house. And so with the Akira cluster, it is going to be replacing Kelvin. So Kelvin and Defiant were our two storage clusters out in Texas. We've been slowly decommissioning them, but as of right now, we are hammering a gig connection to our petabyte storage cluster here in Saginaw, which is the Akira cluster. And I think partners are going to be very happy with those changes. I mean, number one, we control the data. It's completely owned and operated by us. We don't own the data center, so we're not that big to have our own data center. But future, right? On top of that, we are making sure that the infrastructure is running 24/7. We have our NOC system that notifies us if there's anything wrong with any of our storage clusters, not even just the ones that we own. We get phone calls anytime latency gets high, anytime something goes wrong with one of the nodes, or I just had a stick of memory go bad and it didn't take the cluster offline. I was able to go in and fix it. I had a power supply fail. I mean, that's the only two things that have happened with our in-house storage clusters. And so as of right now, like I said, I'm not going to jinx myself, but everything's been working flawlessly with our storage clusters, and we're going to hope to keep it that way. I do want to thank our partners in our Magnus Box community for guiding me and helping give me some ideas on how to improve the new clusters. We did not use any RJ45 cables or Cat6 cable like we did Nexus. We actually used DAC cables, and that was tips from like Tom Lawrence's videos, who I'm going to be honest, I watch a lot of his videos, and a lot of our partners gave us those suggestions. And so we have 10 gigabit throughput on the back end, which keeps that data consistent and make sure that it's all there. And we can right now lose 2 whole storage nodes before I have to stop the storage clusters. So we would have to lose 24 hard drives.
Sounds pretty robust.
It is. Outside of a power failure, which we have UPSs and generator backup at that data center, as it's a major hub for the area for network. The only way it can be killed is if all the nodes failed at the same time, or the power just completely died for a long term.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy with it. It is up and running. It was a very long project, and it was, we invested and found the flaws in the Nexus cluster, and we fixed those in the Akira. So it was very nice.
Yep, it's exciting to see their work. See us kind of bring more of that stuff in house.
Yep, and all the alerts from those clusters go right into our Slack channel.
Yep. It makes me feel important. I open up my phone on days where things are not going well, and see a bunch of Slack messages. But
we use Seth, and we use Seth as our software that does our storage clusters. That's what manages it, and it's very resilient. And it's very resilient, and I'm very happy with it, and I'm going to probably stick with it for a very long time.
Yep.
We have great support from our vendors. We hold them accountable, which is why we made the change in the first place. We didn't feel like we were getting the support with one of our vendors, and so we let them go. Just like we hope that our partners feel the same way, that you're getting the support that you need from us, and hopefully you'll let us fix it, then let us go if we're not doing our job. So,
yeah.
But so that's everything I had for today. I think this was a great Q&A session, a little shorter today because we have some appointments coming up here. Seth's got to go and do a partner demo with Luke. And I got to go and head out here. But so any closing thoughts, anyone?
No, just trying to think of any good closers, maybe. Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I don't know. Any fun weekend plans, maybe? Any 4th of July plans? How about that?
I'm in campaign mode right now with my wife as her campaign manager. So that's my whole life right now outside of Magnus Box.
All right. So that's no from Mike. How about you, Luke?
I believe we're going camping in Traverse City. So
Very
that should
nice.
be fun.
Yes, Traverse City's a very nice city. A lot of good food, too.
Beautiful place. Yeah.
Yep.
So just because I'm going to throw Luke under the bus because I did not prep him for us. Luke, if our partners want to get a hold of you without giving out your personal cell phone number, what's the best way they can get a hold of you here at Magnus Box?
Support@magnusbox.com.
Easy enough, right? And Seth, what about you? You're going to probably say support, aren't you?
Yeah, support@magnusbox.com.
As I have
Unless I
hello
spelled
at
it wrong.
Magnusbox. And then I have hello at magnusbox.com at the bottom.
Yep.
So if you guys want to get a hold of me, you can reach me by calling the Magnus Box business line. We do have a phone number and we do answer it. It is 888-933-2975, or you can email support@magnusbox.com. Or if you want to get a hold of me personally, you can reach out to me by emailing mike@magnusbox.com. And stay tuned because next week I'm going to be over on Marvin B's podcast next Wednesday at 8 p.m. And we're going to talk backup strategy and the do's and don'ts. So it's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to sitting down with him and talking backup and tech. So I think Seth's joining me there too, aren't you?
Oh, but yep, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a party. It's going to be a really good time. So, as always, if you need anything, just feel free to reach out. Otherwise, everyone have a great week.
Thanks, Mike. You too.
Thanks.